Hey guys, I'm Stacey. We're here talking about signature strengths. Let me give you a bit of background first as to who I am though, so you kind of know who you're dealing with. I'm a photographer by trade. My husband and I have 4 kids and 1 on the way. And our second son, Taika, who's 4.5, is autistic. So we go to Mackenzie Centre. My mission today is to help you understand what are signature strengths and how can they help me in my life. I'll at least give you some examples of how they've helped me. And I'm going to try and do this without boring you to sleep. And hopefully get you on the vibe of how cool these things really are. So really quickly, I learned them through the Now and Next program, which is offered through Mackenzie Centre. If you haven't heard about it, it is 2 mums who have special needs kids that are older. They recognised some of the skills they learned along the way, and they thought if we knew it sooner, it would have helped so much more. So they developed this program, and it teaches parents tools that help them on their journey with their special needs kids. So one of those tools was signature strengths, and I personally fell in love with it. So much so that I came home, I researched, I studied. I talked to Dr. Jansen, who's one of those mums that founded the program, and she's a psychologist. So she gave me a deeper understanding as to what it is, and she even helped to coach me through how I could use some of my signature strengths in the struggles I was facing at the time. So, what are signature strengths? Well, they are the core character strengths that make up who you are. They're central to your personal identity. Well then, what are character strengths, I hear you say? Let's backtrack a bit so I can give you a bit of understanding, huh? So there were 2 psychologists, Dr. Seligman and Dr. Peterson, and they recognized in the field of psychology that the problem was that there was a lot of focus on what was going wrong and trying to fix what was going wrong instead of looking at what goes right and trying to implement what goes right. So they founded a new field of science called positive psychology. And what they did was they did a massive research project. They wanted to discover what it is that brings you a happy life. They looked over history, over cultures, over countries, and the discovery that they found is that universally there are 6 core virtues that bring you a happy life. Being typical scientists was they broke those down into 24 categories, and they called them character strengths. Everyone varies in different degrees or levels or another of all the character strengths, but the top 5 to 8 that make up essentially who you are your signature strengths. Now, understanding what your strengths are is massive. It gives you improved self-confidence. It helps you to be way more assertive. It helps you in your ability to handle whatever life has to throw at you. So it helps you to buffer and overcome problems. As you can understand, with that, it can help you through things like depression, anxiety. This is all research-based stuff. They recognize that it can help enhance your health and overall well-being. It can improve your relationships. I mean, this is good stuff, right? And it's all been based on research and understanding. And the thing I loved about it the most is that it's not someone telling me who I am, it is actually who I am, and I recognize that. So one example I can give you is my son Taika, for a good 3 weeks straight, every time we were taking him to kindy, he would have a massive breakdown. And once I went to leave, he was in full-blown attack mode every single day for 3 weeks. And I would have a big smile on my face and I'd go, "Good morning," and I'd be going, "Come on, son," and I'd pull him along and he'd be screaming and throwing himself, and I'd be going, "Let's go." I recognized pretty quickly that it wasn't that he didn't like going to kindy and he didn't like kindy because he loved it. It was that he was starting to recognize that he had independence and he had a choice, and he was able to influence the things that happened around him and the decisions that he had to make. So I was talking one time to one of the kindy teachers, and she saw me coming in every day. I was telling her about these signature strengths that I was learning about. She said to me, "So what do you think is your signature strengths then that have helped you in this situation?" "It must be patience." And I cracked up, I went, "No." And she said, "Really? What do you think it is then?" And it wasn't until she asked me that question that I had to actually take a step back and look at my strengths and recognize, what is it here that I'm using? It's appreciation of beauty and gratitude. Those are 2 of my top strengths. I understand it's not just him chucking a big fit. I can see that he is actually, it's a good thing. He's progressing because he's learned that he has the ability to influence his surroundings and to make decisions for himself. And that was massive for me. Being able to take a step back and recognize these strengths that I have that are helping me through it was almost like a refresher. It helped me to get through the next lot of the phase of the breakdowns until they stopped, or until I was able to work out how I could help them more. When we're talking about what is a strength, in this situation, a lot of people think a strength is just something you're good at, and it's not. Sometimes a strength is something you're good at, but you may not like doing it. One of my friends joined the family business, and she was in charge of the accounting and administration side. And she said, I'm doing it because I'm really good at it, but I don't like it. So in this instance, that would not be included as a strength, okay? A strength in this situation is something that uplifts you. It's something that empowers you. It's something that you get lost in, that it's just part of you and you enjoy doing. This is positive psychology here, people. I'll give you an example. Off the website, there was a woman called Janet. And she always felt like she never lived life to the fullest. You know, she wasn't much of a risk taker, and she was always holding back when new situations arose. She learned that one of her top signature strengths was prudence. A person with prudence can get a bit of a bad rep, you know, a bit of a prude or someone who doesn't like to have fun. But it can also be looked at as cautious wisdom. It's about thinking before one speaks. It's about being careful about one's choices. And so when she was able to view this as a strength, she recognized how much it's actually helped her in her life. She's a successful businesswoman. She's a project manager. She actually was living life to the fullest, and she did take risks, but the way that she did it was that her approach was to give pause and to reflect before taking action. So understanding that this was a strength of hers gave her a deeper appreciation for herself. You see what I'm saying? So start to look at yourself, the things that you enjoy, the things you love, the things you get lost in. For me personally, when I'm shooting, I am in the zone. I've been shooting 7-8 months pregnant before, and I may be feeling like crap beforehand, but as soon as I pick up the camera and go, let's go, everything goes out the door. And I can be found lying on train tracks, or climbing in trees, hanging off branches, or even jumping over rocks to get the shot. And people are going, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, no, this is great. And I don't feel a thing. I feel it later, definitely feel it later. But in that moment, I am in the zone and I am just loving everything that I do. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about things that uplift you, okay? So when I was talking to Dr. Anik Jansen, she said to me, okay, look, one of the biggest solutions to signature strengths is that they can help you through your struggles. Tell me what some of the struggles are that you're going through at the moment. I said to her, oh, my kids, they drive me insane. And my house is always a mess and I can't handle it. She said, all right, well, let's take a look here. Maybe you can use your skills in photography to help you with this. Maybe you can take a photo of a corner of your house that's nice and tidy and put it on your fridge so you remember, that's right, I have a moment of sanity here. And you can appreciate that. But it wasn't quite enough for me. So I took the time and I figured, how can I use my signature strengths to help me in these struggles? And one of my signature strengths is creativity. I decided to take individual photos of my kids in a moment where you can see the joy in their face, where you can see the spark in their eye. And I decided to blow them up big and frame them, because framing them makes it important. It makes it a statement. And I hung them up on the wall in my lounge here because I needed to be reminded that that's right, my kids bring me joy. And that was one way that I was able to use my skill of creativity. I was able to use my strength of appreciation of beauty to help me through these struggles, because this is a constant struggle, as you can imagine. Make it part of your everyday to-day life. Now, don't think that when we're talking about positive psychology, this is going to take things away. It's not. The idea is that you're going to struggle. You want those struggles. It helps you to grow. Instead, use the strengths, embrace them, and use them to build around the struggles. When you figure out what your signature strengths are, Put them somewhere where you can always see them. I put mine on the side of my bed so that every morning when I woke up, that's what I saw. Every night when I went to bed, that's what I saw. It was a reminder for me. And it wasn't just to uplift me, it was there to remind me, you have these tools already, and use them. There are two ways that you can figure out your signature strengths. One way is that you can look at the 24 character strengths and you can work them out yourself. I encourage you to also talk to loved ones and people that you trust and see what they have to say. When I did mine, me and my husband did them together. And he pulled out some that I didn't quite recognize myself, and it wasn't until he pulled it out that I went, oh yeah, okay. Another way that you can work out your signature strengths is you can go to the VIA website, which is Virtues in Action. That's what the character strengths are. And it'll give you a test. It takes about 10 minutes to do the test. They ask you a whole lot of questions, and then they show you from the results of those questions what your strengths are in order. In my experience, it helped to do both. To firstly do what I thought might have been my strengths and my loved ones, and then to do the test and to combine the two, because that's what I actually recognize I am. I'm a combination of the two. Good luck! I hope it helps you on your journey. If you ever see me around, or if you're part of the Families Empowering Families website, chuck up examples of some way that you have used your signature strength that has helped you, because it's really awesome to hear. I hope you enjoy. And I hope you're still awake. We'll see you later.